In a world that moves faster than ever, patience feels like forgotten skill. We want instant success, instant results, and instant rewards. But the truth is, real growth never happens overnight. Every dream worth chasing requires time, trust, and persistence. Today, on day 8 of our journey, we're unlocking the secret strength of patience, the power to stay calm, focused, and confident while the seeds of your effort grow beneath the surface. Stay with me until the end, because today's affirmations will help you trust the process and fall in love with your journey. Part 1. The silent power of patience. Patience is one of those words people often dismiss. It sounds boring. It sounds weak. It sounds like something only old people talk about when they don't have much left to do in life. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Patience is a secret weapon that separates winners from quitters. And most people, without even realizing it, destroy their own potential because they refuse to wait. Think about it. Society has trained us to demand everything now. You want food? Order it and it's at your door in minutes. You want entertainment? Just swipe and you have a million videos. You want attention? Post something and someone, somewhere, will give you a like. We're drowning in instant gratification. And that's exactly why most people will never experience deep success. Because success doesn't care about your timeline. Success doesn't rush. Success is built in silence, behind the curtain, when no one is clapping for you. And only those who are patient enough to stay in the game get to see it. Here's where dark psychology comes in. Your brain is wired for quick rewards. When you do something, even something small, and you don't see immediate results, your brain screams at you to stop. It whispers, "This is a waste of time. You're not getting anywhere. Why even bother?" That voice in your head isn't the truth. It's your own psychology betraying you. It's a survival instinct that pushes you towards short-term comfort, even if it costs you long-term happiness. And sadly, most people obey that voice. They quit. They settle. They trade patience for the illusion of progress. But here's the twist. When you learn to master patience, you gain power over everyone else who can't. Imagine two people starting the same journey. Both are excited. Both have energy. Both dream of success. But one gives up after a few weeks because it's too slow, while the other keeps going silently, trusting that the process is working even if the world can't see it yet. Who do you think ends up with a reward? It's not about talent. It's not even about luck. It's about patience. The ability to stay in the race when everyone else drops out is what makes you unstoppable. Patience is not passive. That's the biggest lie people tell themselves. Patience is active. It's self-control in motion. It's choosing not to chase every distraction that flashes in front of you. It's training your mind to say, "Not yet, but soon." And here's the dark truth. The more patient you become, the more power you have over other people. Because most people panic when things take time. They get anxious. They make impulsive choices. They chase shortcuts. But if you master patience, you can watch them burn themselves out while you move forward with calm focus. Let me give you a simple image. Picture a lion in the wild. It doesn't run around chasing everything it sees. It waits. It studies. It moves slowly, carefully, almost invisibly. And then, at the right moment, it strikes with precision. That's patience. That's control. That's power. The gazelle runs fast, but it runs blind. The lion, patient and calm, always wins. In life, most people are gazelles. They panic. They run in circles. They tire themselves out. But the few become lions, patient, focused, and strategic. End up with everything. Now let's connect this to your journey. You probably worked on something before and felt frustrated that the results didn't come fast enough. Maybe it was fitness. You went to the gym for 2 weeks, saw no real change, and thought, this doesn't work. Maybe it was business. You tried to build something, but no one noticed, and you thought, I'm wasting my time. Or maybe it was relationships. You gave effort, attention, love, but the results weren't instant, so you pulled away. Do you see the pattern? Your lack of patience killed the seed before it had a chance to grow. Dark psychology again. Your mind is addicted to proof. If it doesn't see results immediately, it starts doubting, blaming, sabotaging. It convinces you to quit before you've given enough time for growth to appear. And that's why most people live small lives, Not because they lack potential, but because they lack patience. They didn't wait long enough to collect the rewards of their work. But here's the power shift. The moment you realize that patience itself is proof of strength, everything changes. Instead of asking, "Where are my results?" you start saying, "Every day I'm building in silence, and that's enough for now." Instead of comparing yourself to someone else's fast highlight reel, you say, "My journey has its own timing, and I trust it." And this mindset makes you unshakable. Because when you stop needing quick validation, nothing can control you anymore. And here's the final dark edge of patience. When you master it, you make others chase you. Think about it. The impatient always expose themselves. They rush, they beg for attention, they burn out. But the patient remains steady, calm, and mysterious. People begin to wonder, why aren't they desperate? Why are they so calm while everyone else is panicking? That curiosity pulls people toward you. They begin to respect you, to trust you, even to fear you, because patience is a signal of deep confidence, and confidence is magnetic. So let me leave you with this thought. Every time you feel impatient, remind yourself, this is the exact place where most people quit. And if you just hold on a little longer, you're already separating yourself from the crowd. Patience is not weakness. Patience is not waiting. Patience is silent dominance. It is control over your own mind, and in turn, control over your future. Part 2, trusting the journey. One of the hardest things to do in life is to trust the journey. We all love the idea of success, growth, and transformation, but what we secretly hate is the waiting, the uncertainty, and the silence in between. We want guarantees. We want proof. We want to know that if we give effort today, tomorrow the reward will arrive. But life doesn't work like that. Life demands that you walk forward, often blind, with nothing but faith that the path you're on will eventually lead to something greater. And this is exactly where most people lose the game. Let's face it, your mind hates the unknown. It wants control. It wants clarity. It wants to see the finish line before it even takes the first step. That's basic human psychology. But the truth is, no real journey offers that kind of certainty. Think about any great success story, an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, or even a leader. None of them could see the full path when they started. They only had one thing: trust. They trusted that their consistent actions, their patience, and their focus would eventually guide them to the place they wanted to be. Without trust, their journey would have ended before it even began. Here's where dark psychology comes in. Your brain is your biggest enemy on the journey. It's designed to keep you safe, not successful. It whispers doubts into your ear. What if you're wasting your time? What if this doesn't work? What if people laugh at you? What if you never get there? These thoughts are not random. They're survival mechanisms. Your mind is trying to protect you from risk, embarrassment, and failure. But in reality, it's protecting you from growth. And here's the trap. If you listen to those whispers, you'll sabotage your own journey. You'll stop walking the path, not because it doesn't work, but because your mind tricked you into believing it won't. Trusting the journey is about fighting back against that voice. It's about saying, I don't need proof today. I don't need to see results right now. I know they're coming because I'm doing the work. That kind of mindset is rare. And because it's rare, it's powerful. Imagine the control you gain when you can keep moving forward even while your brain screams at you to stop. You become dangerous because nothing can manipulate you anymore. Not doubt, not fear, not impatience. Think about a seed planted in the ground. For weeks, maybe months, nothing happens. To the outside world, it looks like a dead spot of dirt. People might even laugh and say, "Why are you watering that? Nothing is growing." But underneath, something is happening. Roots are forming. The seed is strengthening itself in silence. And when the time is right, it breaks through the surface, surprising everyone who doubted it. Your journey works the same way. The silence doesn't mean failure. It means preparation. Now, here's the dark truth. Most people cannot handle this silence. They mistake it for emptiness, and they give up too early. They dig up their seed to check on it, and in doing so, they kill it. They quit the gym because the mirror didn't change fast enough. They stop building their business because no one noticed their effort right away. They give up on relationships because trust took too long to build. And all the while, They convinced themselves that it wasn't meant to be. But the truth is, it was meant to be. They just didn't trust the process long enough to see it. When you truly trust the journey, you stop looking for shortcuts. Shortcuts are dangerous because they promise quick results but steal long-term success. That's why so many people fall for scams, quick money schemes, or fake promises. They're addicted to speed. But when you trust the journey, you understand that anything worth building takes time. And here's a psychological edge. When you embrace time, you instantly separate yourself from the masses. While they chase fast dopamine hits, you're quietly building something permanent. Trusting the journey also means trusting yourself. Many people quit not because the journey is impossible, but because they don't believe they can handle it. They doubt their own resilience. They forget how much power they really have. Dark psychology teaches us that humans will often underestimate their own strength while overestimating the strength of challenges. The mountain looks bigger than it is because your mind exaggerates it. But once you start climbing, you realize step by step that the mountain is not invincible, and neither are your fears. Here's another thing. When you trust the journey, you also stop obsessing over the destination. Most people live in constant misery because they are too focused on the finish line. They say, "I'll be happy when I get there. I'll be confident when I achieve this. I'll feel worthy when I succeed." But if happiness, confidence, and worthiness only exist at the end, you'll suffer for most of the journey. And suffering leads to quitting. That's why trusting the journey means learning to love the process itself. Every step is progress. Every day is growth. And when you start enjoying the climb, the destination becomes a bonus instead of condition for happiness. Let me give you another psychological twist. People around you often won't trust your journey either. They'll question you. They'll doubt you. They'll say things like, "Why are you wasting your time? Don't you think you should try something easier? Shouldn't you have made it by now?" And if you're not careful, their doubts will become your doubts. But here's the secret. Their doubts are projections of their own impatience. They don't trust their own journeys, so they can't understand yours. And when you keep going despite their disbelief, you create a psychological shift. Suddenly, you become the person they can't ignore. The one who kept walking while they stopped. The one who proved that trust was stronger than fear. Now imagine this. Years from now, you look back at your journey. You'll realize that the struggle, the waiting, and the uncertainty were the most powerful parts. Because they built you into someone unshakable. Success will feel good, of course, but the trust you built in yourself will feel even better. You'll no longer need the world's approval, because you'll know something deeper. You can trust yourself with any journey, no matter how long or uncertain it feels. So let me end this part with a challenge. The next time you feel like quitting because things are moving too slowly, ask yourself, what if I'm only inches away from a breakthrough? What if all I need is one more week, one more month, one more step? That's a reality. Most people quit right before the results appear. And the few who trust the journey just a little longer are the ones who win. Part 3. Turning frustration into focus. Frustration is one of the most dangerous emotions in your journey. It starts small, like a whisper, but if you let it grow, it can eat you alive. It tells you, this isn't working. You're wasting your time. You should quit. And most people listen. They confuse frustration with failure, not realizing that frustration is actually proof that they are on the right path. Why? Because frustration only shows up when you're stretching yourself beyond your comfort zone. If you were sitting still, doing nothing, you wouldn't feel frustrated. You'd just feel numb. Here's the truth. Frustration is a signal, not a stop sign. It means your brain is struggling to adapt. It means your effort is testing your limits. And the problem isn't the frustration itself. The problem is how you respond to it. Most people let frustration control them. They get angry. They lose patience. They give up. But the few who understand how to convert frustration into focus become unstoppable. They use it as fuel, not fire. Let's go deeper with dark psychology here. Your mind is wired for efficiency. It wants things to be easy. The second it feels resistance, it sends you emotional pain in the form of frustration. That pain is a trick. It's your brain's way of saying, stop pushing. Go back to comfort. Escape the hard work. But here's a paradox. The very thing your brain tells you to escape is the exact thing that will create your breakthrough. In other words, frustration is a doorway to transformation. And most people never walk through it because they run from the discomfort. Think about the gym. When you start lifting weights, your muscles burn. That burn is uncomfortable, sometimes even painful. But what is it really? It's a signal that your muscles are breaking down so they can grow back stronger. Frustration in life works the same way. When your efforts feel heavy, when progress feels slow, when results seem invisible, that's life breaking you down so it can rebuild you stronger. The frustration is not your enemy, it's your coach. Now, here's the dark twist. Frustration also exposes your weaknesses. It reveals where you lack discipline, where you crave quick results, and where your patience is thin. It shows you your breaking points. Most people hate this because it feels like failure, but if you're smart, you'll use it as information. You will say, good, now I know where my weaknesses are. Now I know what needs strengthening. That awareness, if turned into focus, becomes a weapon. Let's make it practical. Imagine you've been working on your goal for months, but nothing seems to move. Frustration creeps in. Your thoughts turn toxic. Why bother? This is pointless. Other people are moving faster. Maybe I'm not good enough. At this point, you have two choices. You can drown in those thoughts and walk away. Or, and this is what winners do, you can channel that emotional energy into sharper focus. Instead of saying, why isn't this working? Ask, what can I do better? What small step can I control today? Where can I double down? That shift transforms frustration into strategy. Let me give you another psychological insight. Frustration is closely tied to comparison. Most of the time, you're not frustrated because of your own progress. You're frustrated because you're looking at someone else's progress and judging yourself against it. That's the trap. Social media makes it worse. You see highlight reels, fast wins, and success stories, and you think, why not me? Why am I still stuck? But here's the reality. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's final cut. And that comparison robs you of focus. When you learn to block out comparison, you reclaim your energy. Your focus sharpens. Instead of chasing someone else's timeline, you start working with your own. And that's when frustration becomes fuel. You stop thinking, why am I not there yet? And start thinking, let me get better today. Let me sharpen my skills. Let me stay consistent. That's how frustration turns into focus. Here's another dark psychology trick. Frustration often comes from hidden expectations. You might think you're being patient, but deep down you're secretly expecting fast results. And when reality doesn't match your hidden expectation, you feel pain. The key is to destroy those unrealistic expectations. Tell yourself, this will take longer than I think. Success always takes longer, and that's okay. When you accept this, frustration loses its grip on you. Because now, when results are slow, you're not shocked. You expected the delay, and that expectation turns pain into calm focus. Let's take an example. Think of a sculptor chiseling a statue from stone. If he expected it to be finished in one day, he'd be furious by sunset. But if he expected it to take years, every chip, every strike of the hammer would feel like progress. The work doesn't change, the mindset does, and so does the frustration. Now, here's where things get interesting. When you turn frustration into focus, you gain an edge over almost everyone around you. Why? Because most people collapse under frustration. They get emotional. They lose control. They self-sabotage. But you learn to stay calm in chaos. You learn to take that raw emotional energy and pour it into sharper execution. And people notice. They see you not losing your cool, not breaking down, not quitting, and that makes you magnetic. It makes them wonder, what do they know that I don't? Why are they so steady while I'm falling apart? And that curiosity is power. But here's the real reward. Frustration, once mastered, becomes motivation. The same feeling that once pushed you to quit now pushes you to keep going. You flip the script. Every time you feel frustration, you tell yourself, good, this means I'm growing. This means I'm close to the edge of a breakthrough. This means I'm not wasting my time. You stop fearing frustration and start craving it because you know it only appears when you're on the edge of progress. So let me ask you, what if frustration is a test? What if the universe, life, or whatever you believe in, places frustration in your path not to stop you, but to see if you're worthy of the reward. Most people fail the test. They quit at the first sign of pain. But the few who pass, the ones who stay calm, stay focused, and keep moving, are the ones who cross into success. That's the psychology of champions. They don't run from frustration. They master it. And here's a final dark truth. Frustration never really goes away. Even at higher levels of success, it will return. New goals, bigger challenges, higher expectations, frustration will follow you. But that's not bad news. It means you're still growing. The difference is, by then, you'll have learned how to transform it. You'll no longer see it as a wall. You'll see it as a doorway. And instead of knocking it down with anger, you'll walk through it with focus. So next time you feel frustration creeping in, don't run. Don't complain. Don't quit. Instead, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, how can I turn this energy into sharper focus? How can I let this frustration push me forward instead of pulling me down? That's the shift. That's the difference. And that's how you transform frustration into fuel for your journey. Part 4. The beauty of slow growth. In a world obsessed with speed, slow growth feels like a curse. We scroll through social media and see people posting about overnight success, instant fame, or fast money. And when our own progress feels slow, we start believing that something must be wrong with us. But here's the truth. Slow growth is not failure. Slow growth is the most powerful form of growth you can experience, because what takes time to build is much harder to destroy. Let's start with a simple image. A tree. A tree that grows fast often has shallow roots. It looks big and strong on the outside, but the first storm can knock it down. A tree that grows slowly, however, spends years building deep roots underground before it stretches high into the sky. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening for a long time. But in reality, the tree is preparing itself to withstand any storm. That's exactly how slow growth works in your life. While you think nothing is happening, your roots, your habits, your discipline, your resilience are quietly forming beneath the surface. Here's where dark psychology comes in. Humans are addicted to speed because of dopamine. Quick rewards trigger that chemical in the brain, making us feel good instantly. That's why people get hooked on social media, fast food, or shortcuts. But the dark truth is this: dopamine-driven success doesn't last. It's shallow, just like the fast-growing tree. The moment pressure hits, it collapses. That's why so many people who rise too quickly end up crashing just as fast. They never built the roots. They never developed the patience to handle the weight of success. Now think about your own journey. Maybe it feels like you're moving slower than others. Maybe you're putting in work but not seeing fast results. Maybe you feel left behind. But what if this slowness is actually your advantage? What if life is deliberately stretching the process so you can grow stronger, deeper, and more unshakable than anyone else? The pain of slow progress isn't punishment. It's preparation. Dark psychology also teaches us about perception. People judge their progress not by reality, but by comparison. You might feel slow only because you're comparing yourself to someone else's highlight reel. But what you don't see are their hidden cracks. Many of them are sprinting on weak foundations. They look ahead today, but in a few years, their lack of patience will catch up with them. Slow growth, on the other hand, ensures you don't just win once, you stay winning. Think about money. Someone who wins a lottery suddenly becomes rich overnight. But studies show that most lottery winners lose everything within a few years. Why? Because their growth was too fast. They didn't develop the mindset, discipline, or habits to handle wealth. Compare that to someone who spends 10 years slowly building a business. Every mistake, every challenge, every lesson becomes part of their foundation. By the time real success arrives, they are ready to handle it. That's the beauty of slow growth. It makes you capable, not just lucky. But here's the dark side. Slow growth hurts. It feels lonely. It feels endless. It feels like you're walking through a tunnel without knowing when the light will appear. That's why most people quit. They can't handle the discomfort of waiting. Their brains scream for quick rewards, and when they don't get them, they convince themselves that nothing is working. But here's the irony. The pain you feel during slow growth is the very thing that's shaping you. It's stretching your patience, sharpening your focus, and teaching you resilience. And once you've built those qualities, you'll never lose them. Slow growth also protects you from arrogance. When success comes too fast, people often mistake luck for skill. They believe they're invincible, and when life tests them, they crumble. Slow growth humbles you. It forces you to struggle, to fail, to try again, and that humility becomes your shield against ego. When you finally rise, you'll rise with wisdom, not just confidence, but quiet strength that can't be shaken by a bad day or a temporary setback. Let me give you another metaphor: building a skyscraper. If you ever watch construction, you'll notice that the first months look like nothing is happening. Workers dig deep into the ground, pouring concrete, setting steel foundations. To an outsider, it looks like wasted time. But once the base is ready, the building rises floor by floor at incredible speed. That's your journey. The slow, invisible phase is a foundation. Once it's strong enough, your growth will explode in ways people won't believe. And when they say, "You became successful overnight," you'll smile, knowing it took years of slow growth they never saw. Here's another psychological twist. Slow growth tests your identity. It asks, do you really want this? Or are you only chasing the idea of it? Anyone can stay motivated when results come fast, but only those who truly love the journey can keep going when progress is slow. This test filters the weak from the strong. And if you're still here, still fighting, still pushing despite the slowness, it means you're one of the rare ones who will actually make it. Now, let's flip frustration into gratitude. Instead of asking, why is this taking so long? Ask, what skills, lessons, or strength am I building right now that I wouldn't have built if this came quickly? Maybe the slow pace is teaching you discipline. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you to focus on the process instead of obsessing over the results. These invisible gifts will serve you for life. They are not wasted time. They are treasures being planted inside you. Dark psychology shows us something else too. People are attracted to those who endure slow growth. Why? Because patience signals confidence. When you're not rushing, when you're calm, when you trust your process, others sense it. They think, they must know something I don't. That calmness is magnetic. It makes people trust you. It makes them want to follow you. It makes them believe in you, even before you fully arrived. So here's the final truth. Slow growth is not a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. It's a universe, life, or whatever you believe in, making sure you don't rise before you're ready. It's protecting you from being crushed by a weight you can't handle yet. It's giving you time to grow roots, to build foundations, to master yourself. And when the time is right, you won't just succeed, you'll stay successful. So next time you feel like progress is too slow, remind yourself, this is my foundation, this is my training, this is my protection. Don't despise the slowness. Embrace it, because when the results finally come, you'll be unshakable. You'll be the strong tree with deep roots. You'll be the skyscraper built to last. You'll be the person who didn't just win fast, you won forever. Part 5, Affirmation for Day 8, the silent strength of patience. Affirmations are not just words. They are weapons for the mind. They are the counterattack against the whispers of doubt, fear, and frustration. When your brain tries to trick you into quitting, affirmations reprogram the message. They tell your subconscious, no, we are not giving up. We are staying. We are trusting the process. And when spoken with belief and repetition, these words don't just comfort you. They rewire you. They harden your mind. They sharpen your focus. They keep you in the fight when most people have already surrendered. Let's walk through affirmations that anchor the lessons of patience and slow growth. Don't just listen to these words. Speak them. Feel them. Own them. With every repetition, you're building mental armor. 1. I trust the process of my journey. This is more than a sentence. It's a declaration of faith. Life rarely reveals the entire plan to you at once. It forces you to walk step by step, often without proof. Trusting the process means silencing that desperate need for instant validation and accepting that unseen progress is still progress. When you repeat this affirmation, you remind yourself that the journey itself is shaping you even when the results are invisible. 2. I know every small effort compounds into big results. This is the antidote to frustration. The truth is, success is never a single moment. It's a collection of countless small actions stacked over time. Each workade, each page written, each disciplined choice is like a drop of water filling a jar. It feels meaningless alone, but over time the jar overflows. By affirming this truth, you stop dismissing small steps and start seeing them as building blocks of greatness. 3. Patience is my superpower. Most people see patience as weakness. But the truth, and here's where dark psychology kicks in, patience is dominance. The impatient expose themselves. They panic. They make bad decisions. They reveal their weaknesses. The patient, however, sit calmly, wait strategically, and strike at the right time. By affirming that patience is your superpower, you claim an edge most people will never have. For I grow stronger and wiser every day. This affirmation flips the script of slow progress. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, you remind yourself that growth is always happening beneath the surface. Every challenge you face is teaching you something. Every delay is sharpening your character. You are never stagnant. You are evolving quietly. And that quiet growth becomes a loud victory later. 5. I am exactly where I need to be, and my success is on its way. This affirmation ends a toxic habit of comparison. You are not late. You are not behind. You are on your own timeline, building your own destiny. This thought relieves pressure and allows you to focus on what matters, your actions today. Say this, and you stop looking sideways at others. You lift your head and walk your path with confidence. Now let's take these affirmations and stitch them into your reality. Imagine waking up every morning, looking in the mirror and declaring these truths. Imagine whispering them to yourself when frustration rises. Imagine saying them out loud when doubt creeps in. Over time, they stop being words and start being identity. And once they become your identity, patience is no longer something you try to have. It becomes who you are. Here's the deeper psychology. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and repetition. If you constantly repeat negative thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'm too slow, I'm failing, your subconscious accepts it as truth. But if you flood your mind with affirmations like the ones above, your subconscious accepts that as truth instead. And when your subconscious believes you are patient, strong, and unstoppable, your behavior naturally follows. That's the real power of affirmations. They're not about feeling positive. They're about rewiring your mental battlefield so that when doubt attacks, your subconscious fights back automatically. So tonight, before you sleep, and tomorrow when you wake, repeat these affirmations with conviction. Don't just say them. Believe them. Picture them. Live them. Because each repetition is a seed, and those seeds will grow into unshakable confidence and resilience. Today, you've learned that patience is not weakness, but power. You've embraced the beauty of slow growth and armed yourself with affirmations that keep you steady while others fall apart. But patience is only half the story. Tomorrow, in day 9, we're going to uncover a force even stronger, the power of resilience. Because patience keeps you waiting, but resilience brings you back every time life knocks you down. Get ready, because day 9 will teach you how to rise after every fall and make failure your greatest weapon.